Good morning, it's Lisa with Lisa Heal Yourself, and today I want to talk about rewriting your story. Now, I've talked about this before because it's so important, right? If you feel that your sickness, your illness, your chronic illness, your pain, your suffering, your symptoms are holding you back from living your best life, then you're stuck in a story, right? If this story of illness, the story of pain, the story of suffering, the story of disease, chronic illness, ailments, whatever it is holding you back from being the person that you want to be, then the only way that you can, then you know you're stuck in a story because it's holding you back from living the life, the story that you actually want to live. So once we can admit that we're stuck in a story, we want to think about ourselves as a character. Now, I used to be a writer, so this comes naturally to me. In fact, in 2 days, it's my birthday coming up. Happy pre-birthday to me. And I will be turning 45 years old, which to me seems so crazy. Anyways, so on this birthday, I've been thinking about, and I've been wanting to start writing again. I haven't written since I was 37 years old, okay? Maybe 38. This was when, the accident happened to me. This was when my life was changed forever in a moment. This is when all my illness started, my suffering, my pain. This is when my life was on course. I was myself. I was living the life I wanted to live, and that's when it went off course. So let's count. Let's just say 38 to be safe, because it was somewhere in between 37 and 38. So 38, 40, 41, 42, 43. So yeah, it's been a lot of years, right? 8 years. So I have wanted to write during that time, but couldn't. And actually, I don't know why this video is turning into about me, but I do want to give you the backstory before we move on to rewriting your story. But the backstory of me writing is that I started writing when I was 16 years old. I decided I wanted to be a writer. I sat down, I thought of my first sentence, and I never looked back. I wrote novels. And then when I was in my 20s, it turned into a love of writing screenplays, which developed into my 30s, where I felt like I was getting some traction and, going back and forth for meetings in Hollywood and trying to break in. I was a writer of romantic comedies of all things, where I believed in the big, happily ever after ending. That was my thing. I came from a life where anything was possible, and the bigger, the better, the more happy the ending. That moment of swell, that moment of cheer, that moment of that little cry, that release was what I wrote my stories for. That impact, right? Love stories, romantic comedies, they filled me. And I believe truly in the power of the happy ending, of the happily ever after, of that fairy tale, beautiful life. And when my accident happened, when my life went off course, everything changed. I only saw darkness, and I was a changed person. It was like I was different. I saw things, and I learned things, and I felt things that I could never unlearn, unfeel, and unthink. And it changed me fundamentally as a human being. And so I no longer believed in the big happy ending, in the that happily ever after, that things work out in the end of that beautiful moment. I can no longer even feel. I couldn't feel that happiness in my own life, and I certainly couldn't even fantasize in any kind of fictional way that it could happen to anyone. I stopped watching movies of all kinds. Done. It just was like I erased it from my life. I literally couldn't watch a movie. I didn't want to get to the end. I didn't want to see the happy ending. I didn't even want to watch the movie. I couldn't understand it. My cognitive abilities were gone. I couldn't follow it. It was frustrating. And I just didn't believe anymore. And I was in a different place. I didn't read any more books. They were gone out of my life. I couldn't laugh. I couldn't feel. I couldn't believe. But mostly writing was gone out of my life. And writing had always been therapeutic for me. Therapeutic in so many ways, because although my stories were fictional and none of the characters resembled me, I was able to take emotions that are stored in my body in places and express them on a page in a way that had nothing to do with me or my life. And I was able to make sense of the world around me, right? When you're writing a story, there's all kinds of things that are going into it, from the character's motivation to their goals, to what they want, to what they actually need. And these feelings of what you actually need are really at the heart of everything. It's like fulfilling your own needs. So now let me just move forward with this video. I hope that you're enjoying this backstory. But I was no longer able to express on the page. Expressing on the page gave me such joy. It filled me with, when people talk about being in flow state, I was in flow state. Hours would pass and my fingers would type on the keyboard, and I would look up and I would be surprised that hours had passed. I would get immersed into the world and thoughts and feelings of these characters, and life felt alive and beautiful. And I felt, when I completed a story, when I was working through the problems of the story, I felt those problems deeply, and I felt the web that I was tangling. And then I had to untangle that web and complete the puzzle and bring the story to fruition at the end and wrap everything up, right? The A storyline, the B storyline, all the supporting characters, give everybody their ending, right? And the ending was always a fulfilling ending for me. I felt fulfilled when I completed a novel or a screenplay. And when I thought about writing in these years, these lost years I call them, I could no longer wrap anyone's story up because I could no longer complete my own. I couldn't understand what was happening to me. I couldn't make sense of the tangled web and the tangled Rubik's Cube that was in front of me. I couldn't undo it, and I couldn't give myself fulfillment. I couldn't bring my storyline in my real life to any kind of, have it make sense, to untangle the web. And I was a web untangler. That's what a storyteller is. They create all the problems. The problems are crazy in a screenplay. You just keep putting problem after problem in front of all your characters for them to solve. And the story, it's such a beautiful art to wrap everything up at the end in a fulfilling way. I couldn't do this in my own life. And so I doubted everything. I doubted that there could be a happy ending anymore. I couldn't see it. Therefore, I couldn't write it. And when I stopped writing, I stopped expressing. Okay, so that was a big sentence. I stopped expressing. So I want you to think about this. When you're in pain, when you're in deep suffering, when you have chronic illness, when you are suicidal, when you're emotionally bankrupt, when you're physically destroyed, and you can't express, you can't find a way to express and get it out through conversation, because I lost all my friends, I lost all my family, I had no confidants to talk to. I couldn't afford I couldn't afford to go to a therapist, and they couldn't help me. So I lost my faith in humanity. I lost my faith in the ability for anyone to help me. So I held my story close to me. But when I stopped writing, I stopped being able to express my emotions on a page. And I didn't really realize that what I had been doing all those years was therapeutic. It was keeping me the person that I was, because I never held things in. I expressed them outwardly to friends, to parents, to people, to my partner, and mostly on the page, right? I was expressing confusion and thoughts and feelings and emotions and energies that were stored inside me onto a page every day. And when that stopped, when my best friend, my mom, was no longer with me, when nobody could help me, when all my friends vanished, and when I couldn't watch a movie, couldn't read a book, and could not write on a page. I lost my ability to express. And therefore, I was stagnating, right? I was stagnating. I was deeply building emotions up inside me, all over my body, in tissues, in bones, in my blood. These emotions had nowhere to go. So they were filling up inside me, and they were overflowing and causing my body to break down and to fall apart. And I didn't know that. I couldn't make the connection. But these emotions that are trapped inside us with no way to get out, no release valve, no way to express themselves, have no choice but to manifest. Okay, so this is why we need to change our story. So let's get to the part that we're here. So, for those of you who follow TMS work, which is a mind-body syndrome approach to healing that Dr. John Sarno created, or not created, but he found that people were storing pain in their body, and he named it TMS, which stands for something mild neuro syndrome or something. Anyways, the whole premise of it is that you store pain in your body, and you need to release it. And one of the ways that you can release it is through journaling, right? Because you're expressing your emotions, you're expressing your feelings, and you're getting it out on the page. So then we're not storing this in our body. We believe that our physical problems are not caused by a physical condition, but rather from emotions that are stored in our body. And once we become aware of that, and we believe that, once you do the work, you get your emotions out, you become aware that you're storing them, and that it can't hurt you, right? Your physical pain is not something that needs to be manipulated from a physical doctor or a medication or a physical therapist or an operation or a surgery. And you believe that it is coming from your emotions, and you release them, and then your pain diminishes, right? This is the theory. So for those of you who follow that, you may journal, and you may do the work of TMS by journaling, by expressing your emotions, by thinking about your emotions, by becoming aware of what's bothering you throughout the day as the day goes on. Rather than fixating on your physical pain, you may start to become aware. Instead of focusing on your migraine or focusing on your back pain or focusing on your foot pain, you say, what's bothering me right now? What emotion am I feeling? What is going on? And you can think through this, or you can journal and express yourself, which is one of the main ways that people heal through TMS. So when you're expressing these emotions, you are getting them out on the page, and you're just talking about them. But sometimes people, there's so much to talk about, your personality traits, your past history, all the past traumatic things that have happened to you, the things that are bothering you today, the relationships in your life, all these things. There's just so much to write about. And it just starts to spiral people into their own self-pity and their own depression and their own, like, oh my God, everything's wrong, right? When you have to set a timer and journal about all the things that are wrong, it doesn't help you also move forward. Yes, it helps you express, but it's not helping you rewrite your story. So, saying all that, and I do believe journaling is good, and I do believe the journaling work of TMS is excellent. And if you can commit to it every day, I think they say about 20 minutes or a half an hour, then you will likely find huge relief and take your healing, like take a giant step forward in your healing, if not heal completely. However, sometimes we can stay stuck even in this journaling and expressing pattern, because there's always more to unearth, and there's more to unearth, there's more to find. It keeps us stuck in our own reality, which is what we're trying to break. We're trying to become a new character, write a new story, write a new ending, right? So one of the ways, and I haven't gone back to it yet myself, I haven't gone back to writing, but I've been inching closer to it. And I believe I'm going to take the plunge, and I invite you to take the plunge with me, because I know how healing it is, and I know how expressing yourself through fiction writing is it's so special. It's like nothing else. The feeling compares to nothing else. And the discoveries that you will make along the way compare to nothing else. And the answers that you find when you unweave the web and you make a resolution for this story, answers come and insights come about yourself and about the world that you can find no other way. Okay, so first, if you think you can't write fiction, you can. It's not about being a good writer. It's not about having a plot. It's not about having a character. It's not about even, being good in English or being good in grammar or having any kind of sense. It's like journaling in a way. You're just free writing from your heart. Only the person is not about you, and it's not factual. It's not about your life. It's about someone else's. And it's much easier to express ourselves through another character and to see things clearly through somebody else that is us but isn't us. This is a much easier thing to see. So we're going to do this. We're going to write a story. So I want you to get a pen and a paper, and I want you to do this with me, okay? Pause the video, go get a pen and a paper. You will see, just trust me on this one. Okay, are you back with your pen and your paper? All right, so I want you to just close your eyes for a minute, and I want you to think about yourself, but think about the last time you felt stuck, that you couldn't move forward in life, the last time you felt like sad, grief-stricken, just alone in the world. Now just think of yourself. So maybe you've just put your children to bed and you come out of the room and you start crying, right? Sobbing. Or maybe you just hung up the phone from an argument with your mom and you throw a dish or something, or whatever it is. Maybe you're looking at the clock and you're waiting, or you've just cooked a dinner and you're waiting for your significant other to come home and they're late, and you look at the clock and they're not there. You put their dinner in the fridge and you go to bed. So just think of a moment where you felt totally stuck and you see the visual image, you see this image, the last time that you had conflict or this feeling of real stuckness, what preceded it, what event preceded it to make you feel just so stuck and tired of your life, like you just can't take it one more second. So just think of the moment. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. It could be as simple as a conversation with someone, an argument, just anything. It could be anything. So close your eyes and just think of this for a minute. Oh, this is pretty back here, actually. Okay, now, so I want that to be your plot. That's your starting point. That's your opening scene. Okay? That's your opening scene right there. Nothing more complicated than that. Now, I want you to envision that character now is not you. It is you, but it's somebody different. Okay, so I want you to place a different character there, a different age, how old that scene makes you feel, how tired that scene makes you feel. Is this character depressed? Are they angry? Are they grief-stricken? Are they sad? Are they lonely? Are they hurt? Are they, angry? Are they suicidal? Are they sick? Are they broken? What qualities does this person have that just it seems like it's not the real you, like you're just tired of? Okay, so this person, it's different than you. This person is a different age, and they might even have a different problem than you have. Amp it up, make it extreme, make it different. Just make this character, do they have an addiction? Do they have, what qualities do they have? So I just want you to think of just the first thing that comes to mind. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just choose a character. Oh, it's starting to rain. Isn't that pretty down there? Now, I hope the camera doesn't get wet. So we're going to finish up quickly. So I want you to choose a character. Just give them a name. Just give them a fantasy name. Give them a fantasy age. And give them some fantasy qualities and a fantasy job. Just think about who their parents are. They're different than yours. What their problem is and what their job is. Maybe they're a superhero. Maybe they're a princess. Maybe they're an astronaut. Maybe they're just a boring accountant. Like, who knows, right? Maybe they can't work. Maybe they're disabled. Maybe whatever. Okay, we're going to give them some qualities that are different than yours, but that just somehow speak to you, or that are interesting to you, that resonate with you in a way. Okay, so now you have your plot, you have your character. I want you to set a timer. Don't worry about anything, about getting spelling right, about getting the plot right, about getting full sentences even. This is fragmented, quick-paced writing, just free-flow writing, chicken scratch writing about this character in this situation. And you set a timer. I want you to set a timer for 10 minutes, and I want you to free-flow writing about this character. Then I want you to come back, and I want you to do that every day, building on this scene, building on a problem, and building up to something that's going to come, building up to something that's going to come and change. They call it the inciting incident, something that's going to come into this character's life and shake it up. They're going to get a new opportunity. They're going to meet somebody new. They're going to get a chance to go somewhere, travel somewhere, take a quest, take a journey, go somewhere. So we're just writing the beginning part, but we're leading up to something that's going to come and change, and this character has the chance to either accept it or say, no, I'm just going to stay stuck in my life the way it is, right? They're going to accept the quest. They're going to meet the guy. They're going to go on the date. They're going to buy the house. They're going to move towns. They're going to, whatever it is, this quest is coming. Something is coming for them. This is what we're leading up to. And they have the opportunity to just pass it by like they would up until now, or something sparks in them that they want a change in their life, and they're going to accept this call. They're going to go on the date. They're going to take the new job. They're going to change cities. They're going to go on the adventure. They're going to do the thing that they didn't think that they would do up until their life at this point, to change their life. We know that this is going to take their life in a different direction, and that's what we're building up to. So I want you to just start in the place that they're stuck and write about it. And it's like feeling yourself stuck. You are stuck in your life. I want you to write about this on the page as if it's a character, okay? So you're a little bit removed from it. It's a character. They're a different age. They're a different person. They're a different gender. They're whatever, okay? And they're stuck. They keep living Groundhog Day over and over. They're stuck, right? And when this inciting incident comes, when this comes, I want them to accept it. First, they're going to deny it. They're going to try to turn away from it. They're going to say, no, I can't take it. I'm not strong enough. There's all these reasons that are standing in the way. But ultimately, finally, when they agree to take that step into the unknown, that's when the story really picks up. When we head into Act 2, and we can see all the problems that are going to get in their way to this goal that they are finally ready, that's going in front of them. So we are going to write our way into a new life as a new character. We're going to see where we're stuck, and we're going to see what opportunities could be coming. And it doesn't have to be real. It doesn't have to be it could be anything. Maybe you're going to meet a man. Maybe you're going to accept a job. Maybe you're going to leave your house and travel to an island or a new faraway place, right? This is not really you. So you have the liberty to dream and to allow it to be a little bit fun, a little bit out there, and a lot out there. But you're feeling those emotions and those feelings as if it was you, even though it's not. And it can be exciting, it can be thrilling, and you can eventually, when the story is done, you are going to see a new perspective, what's actually going on and what you actually need to do in real life. And just by expressing it, you're going to feel better. So writing your story literally, rewriting your own story literally through a fictional character is an exercise that I have done so many times. It helps so often. And I have stopped doing it because I couldn't believe in the ending for so long. But I am going to take the leap again. Once again, in a couple of days, I'm going to start, and it's a break from writing, journal writing, from writing about your own crap. It's an experience, and it's self-discovery in itself, and it's beautiful. And I promise you that you don't have to be a writer in order to do this. Right? It's just figuring out someone else's crap, and it helps us figure out our own. That's really what fiction writing is. So I hope that you try it. I hope that you even try this exercise today, and maybe one more day subsequently. But I hope you give it a try. So good luck.